Astro Point did not murder Harvey Dent. He saved my boy and took the blame for Harvey's appalling crimes so that I, to my shame, could build a podcast around this fallen idol. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Astro Point, episode 2. I'm here, as always. My name's Vinny. I'm here with my friend Ryan. Say hello, Ryan.
Hey, what's up?
And my friend Steven. Say hello, Steven.
Giddy up.
Yo, giddy up. The word for today is romance. We are recording this on February 13th. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So, towards the end, we will get into a couple of funny romantic stories that we've got to tell. But before all that, we're gonna talk about things that are going on with us this week and whatnot.
Like a question that I was asked was, so things that we were doing in the past week, or like specifically what we were listening to, which I thought was kind of a good question. So, do you guys have any interesting or like artists that have just been striking your ear for the past week that you want people to know about?
Obviously, Creed. That's on all of our iPods today.
Hilariously enough, I was taking testing on last Monday, and as I was taking my tests, my sacrifice was constantly in my head, and it was very distracting actually, just because it was not only the real My Sacrifice, but it was being mixed with Creed weed jokes as well, which, man, it was very distracting.
Yeah, it was pretty hard for me to have a conversation with my girlfriend without every 5 minutes saying, "When you are with me, smoke weed." So,
I sent you guys that music video on YouTube. Somebody made a music video to that song with 300 as the video. And it's such a poorly done, it's like an early YouTube music video where they didn't really edit it very well. They're just like basically playing the movie over the song. And I can't hear that song without thinking of the movie now.
It's beautiful, honestly.
I don't think it fits very well, but for whatever reason, it's like striking imagery in my head.
But honestly, having Creed and Zack Snyder all in one is kind of your dream, isn't it?
That's what I was saying.
Zack Snyder has got to direct a Creed music video. That'd be beautiful.
Full length feature, like a superhero, like Creed, like flying in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm sure Justice League will provide plenty of content to make one ourselves.
Post credit scene in Justice League, the Justice League meets up with Creed.
So like, in like the Avengers movies when they like go and they meet Sam Jackson's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And like it's like the big reveal or whatever. They should do that, but with Scott Stapp.
I would love it because like nobody would know like what the hell is going on.
Right. Just us three.
To quote Steve Hartwell, what the hell?
Shout out to you actually getting a response to Steve Hartwell.
Is that a story we should tell? Or
I think that's a story we should tell for sure. Because Smash Mouth is another band that is constantly on our iPod shuffles.
Right now, or should we save it?
Let's go ahead and tell it now. We're talking about music. Why not?
Yeah. All right. So one time this last year, Vin and I were hanging out. We were all hanging out when Ryan and I were living together. Ryan had already went to bed though. And Vin and I decided, hey, let's watch a whole Smash Mouth concert on YouTube, which is a pretty funny idea. And
because they were coming to a city that was near us, and we were thinking of going. And I was like, what is a Smash Mouth concert like?
That's right. So we're watching it, and it's all funny. It's fine. It's like from the 2002 or something.
Yes, yeah.
But there's just this point that's so funny. Midway through the concert, I don't know if it's a part of a song. I'm not familiar enough with their discography to know. But like all the music stops, and then the lead singer Steve Hartwell just yells, "What the hell?" And then there's just this really funny like guitar riff that's just Just like a real 90s, like Saved by the Bell, like transition. Like just real extreme sounding. But it's just so hilarious. And so I told Vin, I was like, all right, I got to make a Vine out of that. And so I did, much later. I feel like it was some time passed, and then I made it, and I tagged. This is kind of, whenever I get celebrities to respond to me on Twitter or anything, I just kind of bait them with little weird things. And that's what I did. I made the Vine, and I captioned it and tagged the band's page and Steve Harwell in it, and said Steve Harwell has a meltdown on stage. And so the Smash Mouth Twitter page responded with, they were all out of beer. Is that right? Is that what they said?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like really funny to me, because it's like that's like what Twitter brands do. They have to embrace the meme, and because they've embraced I can't remember what it was, but like they posted a song on SoundCloud and they had like Shrek on the cover art. So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so they've fully embraced like the Shrek meme, or at least as much as I think they should. But anyway, so that was funny to me that they responded. And so then I made this really stupid, I made 2 little vlogs type like response videos in total, and it's just like me like talking like an idiot, like, wow, thank you guys so much for responding to me. You really like made my day. Thank you. Like I have like what Smash Mouth song did I have playing in the background?
You had Walking on the Sun, I think.
Yeah, because I was so happy.
Of it.
I was so happy that they responded. And so they probably thought I was not so bright. And they were like, oh, like, what? He's a nice fan just because I was talking like an idiot. And then, so Steve Harwell responds just with cool hat, comma. Which was really...
the greatest response of all time.
Which was really funny to me. So then that's when I made the second video where I'm like, Steve, thank you so much for being like such a nice guy. And I'm wearing, shout out to our friend Levi who runs Seven Athletics. I was wearing one of their hats. And so since I know Levi, when we collaborate on things, I was like, Steve, like, I can get you one of these hats. Like, please, like, if you're interested in having a cool hat like me, please respond. And then I sent out like a following tweet like, hey, since your name is Steve and I'm Steve, maybe it would be funny if we both wore the same hat. I don't know. Let me know. So I was really trying to bait him again to respond, but that was it. He was done with me.
I applaud your ability to put on these characters like over Twitter, because you fully embrace them, man. And yeah, out of everyone, I think you have the most celebrity responses that I know of, at least.
Over pretty stupid stuff. I mean, a lot of time it's like with artwork or like other things like
that. Good
content. Right, but when it's a shit post, it's always funny. But yeah, the idea following that was we were going to make a video of us going to this concert that was close to us, because it was in like a month or two around this time. And me trying to give Mr. Steve Harwell a hat. But just because of like scheduling, I don't think we could make it.
Yeah, I think it was like less than 2 weeks away.
Oh no, that's right. It was really soon.
And I wasn't able to get time for it.
And it was kind of expensive, like to see like Smash Mouth at a county fair.
It was like a $45 ticket or something ridiculous.
They're still popping off, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. That $45 is worth it.
It ain't no joke.
I think I looked up how much it cost them like to book them, and I think it's between like 25 to 40 grand or something. I could be wrong, but that sounds about right.
One day.
But yeah, anyway, shout out to Smash Mouth one time. Shout out to everybody who makes the YouTube videos All Star by Smash Mouth, except, and they'll do all these like beautiful reworks or mashups.
That content has been pumping out hard lately.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those.
I saw it was Smash Mouth, but in alphabetical order.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Destroyed my brain.
Man, speaking of Smash Mouth, so I've been making a playlist for WSUCon, which is a gaming tournament that's coming up this upcoming week. And so I am working on making this playlist. It's a 24-hour event. So the original goal was to create a playlist that was going to be 24 hours long. So far, I have it to about 6 hours, and I think I'm gonna keep it around there because I actually kind of like the flow of it currently. But "Walking on the Sun" is on that playlist, so
You're incredible.
there's a lot of good callbacks. I mean, I'll post a link to the playlist in the description, but it's got everything you could ever want, man. Like we go from Ludacris to some Nelly to some Omarion into some Smash Mouth, some Aaron Carter.
Just
I mean,
all the
Aaron
2000
Carter,
bangers, huh?
We're hitting it out. Like everything you could ever want. Just
How much
bangers
Creed?
only.
Yeah,
I
any
need
Creed?
to put some Creed on there.
Come on, bro.
Again, it's still a work in progress. It'll be perfected by Friday because that's when the event is. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased so far.
You need the entire Creed discography on there. Then it's a
True.
Yeah.
real banger.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on. You got to
'cause-
put some Sum 41, bro.
I will write
yeah.
that down because that is an absolute
man.
must.
That was on it. We walked into a karaoke bar the other night, and that was one of the songs that was playing, and the
Yo.
whole bar sang along.
Oh man. Hey, can we talk about that one Sum 41 lyric that's like what's the one
My dentist said my mom
Yes.
should have had an abortion.
Yeah, so what song is that? That's the one where they do like the Beastie Boys type rap on it.
I think it's In Too Deep.
Is it?
I think so.
I feel like it was another one. It's one. If it's not that one, it's like their second most popular one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they do like this Beastie Boys rap, and they're talking about how cool they are, and like how they like skip school and like fucking
Smoke cigarettes.
smoke cigs,
Fist
and had
fight my dad.
Yeah, fist fight my dad, and had chains on their wallets and like Spitfire shirts and all this shit. But yeah, they're like going back rapping, and there's just this like breakdown where they're like. I can't remember the lyrics leading up to it, but it sounds like they say the dentist.
Oh.
What?
I'm trying to remember what song that is now. Keep going.
But yeah, they say like the dentist said my mom should have had an abortion, and we're like, and then it like the funniest part is like whoever mixed it like delays abortion, so it's like abortion, 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 it like it fades out, but it's so. I'm
trying to remember the name of the song because it's I don't want to waste my time.
Oh
Become
no,
another-
yeah, that's Fat Lip.
Fat
No,
Lip.
thank you.
Yes, it's Fat Lip.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that was the song that was playing. I didn't realize that was a lyric. I guess
Well-
all I know is the chorus.
Right. The actual
Right.
lyric is doctor. The doctor said my mom should have had an abortion. But the way he says it sounds like dentist, which is the funniest, like, because imagine that, like the mom's just getting her teeth checked and she's like, maybe like the kid's like running into the, like the waiting room or something, or from the waiting room in there and like is like playing with all the toys or all the tools. And he's just like, you know what? Your teeth look great, but you should have had an abortion. Have a good
Yeah.
day.
Good
Very
teeth.
professional comments from the dentist.
I mean,
I'm imagining my dentist saying this to my mother.
Right.
so yeah, just very casual and polite. But no, there's something about that was really funny. But yeah, no, definitely put some Sum 41 on there, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the funny thing about Sum 41 is that I associate them with Godzilla, because in one of the Godzilla movies, it's Godzilla Final Wars.
Mm-hmm.
He fights the American Godzilla from like 1998, and they play a Sum 41 song over it.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's pretty hilarious because like it's the plot of the movie is essentially that like, you know, aliens are aliens. It's a Godzilla movie, so the plot's hilarious. Aliens basically took all of Godzilla's enemies and like unleashed them on like different cities throughout the world, and the Japanese army of kung fu people and Godzilla got to stop them. And so I think it's in like Australia. Godzilla's in Australia. I don't remember how Godzilla's getting around everywhere, but
He's probably swimming.
he could be. I guess that'd take a while though, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Anyway, Godzilla's in Australia, and like American Godzilla like zaps down from the sky, and it's like and it's just playing some Sum 41, and Godzilla just wrecks his shit, just destroys him.
Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that
I'll have
sounds
to see
great.
if I can find that.
But I guess so. What was the original question? What kind of music we've been listening to?
Yeah. What music have we been listening to this past
Sum 41, Creed, Smash Mouth.
Damn.
week? Basically, we're living back in 2002.
Right. No, I'm trying to think like for real what I've been listening to. There's this dude from LA. I think his name's Dominique Purdy, but he goes by the Koreatown Oddity.
Okay.
And he wears like he's very much like a lot of people call him like the son of MF Doom. He wears like a wolf mask. But he just dropped like his debut on Stone's Throw. I think I don't know if he'd consider it his debut, but I've been listening to that. Also, shout out to the Sonic R soundtrack because it's one of the greatest video game soundtracks ever.
Yeah, no, I will attest to that as well.
I love that that started as a meme like 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it's just still alive.
It's so good, like, because I think, like, we were just playing it, like, because you had the Sonic collection. I mean, obviously, you have...
Yeah.
Is that what it was? It was, like, the Sonic collection?
It's
The Gem
Sonic
collection?
R's and Gems collection.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and we were playing that, and the game is atrocious. It's horrible.
It's real bad.
It's not how a racing game should be. Like, there's no real clear initiative, like, where to go. It's just like, here's a map. Like, go.
Good luck.
There's no, like, the tracks are, I don't know. It's a mess.
It's
But anyway,
all over the place.
the soundtrack is fantastic. Like, there's, like, so it's just real 90s. Like, there's some, like, house influence.
Yeah. It's not music you would listen to in a racing game. It makes no sense as to why it's in there. It's like these beautiful, almost R&B, like mid-90s R&B.
A lot of good
love
house
songs.
tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, the vocalist is just so good. Like,
And I forget her name all the time.
because they did that composer and that vocalist did like one other song or one other soundtrack, right? Together, like directly.
Well, they did another song for a different Sonic game.
Okay.
And then they did I think a different racing game. Like it was like a Daytona game.
Right.
They did the soundtrack for.
Yeah, and we
I
listened to
could
some of
imagine
that,
that.
and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it hasn't fully it hasn't hit me as deep as the Sonic R soundtrack hit me.
Yeah. Well, Sonic R has got all those bangers on there, dude. Diamond in the Sky,
You're my
Living in
number
the
one.
City.
Yeah, Living
You're
in the
my
City.
number one.
Come on. Yeah, anyone that's listening to this and that hasn't listened to the Sonic R soundtrack, please go do that right now.
You're the one that makes me feel so high. You're like
Dude,
a
shout out
diamond in
to
the sky.
our senior year summer, like that on the mixtape CD that we had.
Oh yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those albums that's just like nostalgia, high school
That's
nostalgia.
still in my
so-
car.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Damn. I'm also happy that on both episodes so far we have had Vin singing. Because
Yes.
anybody that hangs out with us or with Vin knows that that is very true to him in real life. He's always singing something.
Always
Yeah,
just
it's-
gotta say, sing it, baby girl.
I mean, I don't know about that, but
You sing a lot. I don't think you realize
Yes.
it, but you sing
yeah,
a
I probably
lot.
don't.
Man.
But that's what makes the dynamic work really well. Is I'll just be creating parody songs, and then you'll just sing the real thing, or you'll sing the parody song too.
Yeah, I think I'll sing the song, then you sing the parody song, and then we just both sing the parody song.
And I'm the audience in it. So like if it's good, it'll get stuck in my head and I'll be saying, you know.
Steven's just the real musician that just listens.
Right.
But hey, if it's an earworm, I'll be saying, when you are with me, smoke weed.
Smoke weed.
All day.
Yeah. My sacrifice.
Smoke weed every day.
Man. I wish there was more Snoop Dogg saying smoke weed content like those
Nate Dogg.
remixes.
Nate Dogg.
Oh yeah, it was Nate Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
Yeah, that.
But they always have Snoop Dogg like
Right, that's
his
right.
little dancing gif as he's
which is
you
one
know,
of like the
You
earliest
can't
like
see it, but I'm doing it.
nice.
Yeah, I was too. It was fantastic.
That Snoop Dogg gif is like one, and I say gif fuck at anybody who disagrees with me on that.
Fuck out of here. It's not Jif.
Yeah.
That's peanut butter. Jif is peanut butter.
Right. Yeah. We can get into that later. But anyway, that Snoop Dogg dancing gif is one of like the earliest, like on MySpace. Like I would see that everywhere. That was like one of the most primitive gifs. That, and then there's just like a stormtrooper, like a dude dressed as a stormtrooper in a parking lot, humping
And
the
thrusting.
air. Yeah.
Yep.
That was Danny Sutton's profile pic for a while.
Man.
Yeah, I could see that.
Very cool. What you got?
Oh, no, I was just trying to think more of like things we'd been listening to this past week.
Well, I have a pretty funny story about some
Go ahead.
music. So, what was this? 2 days ago, I was with my girlfriend, and we were driving around, and she was in charge of the aux. And I think she had said like that morning she woke up and just listened to this whole album, which is quite the way to wake up.
I mean, yeah, you got to be in the right mood.
Right, which apparently, I mean, it's quite the way to wake up. Anyway, she was listening to the new Die Antwoord album, which I think came out in September of 2016, so it's a little old. But anyone that's not familiar with them, they're a duo from South Africa, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they make kind of experimental hip-hop, rave. Their music videos are just really out there.
Right.
Like, there's really no one else that sounds like them. And I've been familiar with them for a while, but I don't know. I'm more of a Death Grips guy, and my girlfriend's more of a Die Antwoord head, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I've never really got into them like that. But anyway, we were listening. I just keep laughing at how funny this is. But anyway, yeah, we were listening to this album. And like it's all fine, you know, it's different, but it's cool. Like I'm vibing to it. And then the song comes on, The Bomb. Like
the banger.
The banger, yeah, like a bomb was dropped over my head. Like my life changed when I heard this. And I'm talking about Wings on My Penis by Die Antwoord, featuring Little Tommy Terror.
Dude, Little Tommy Terror is something else.
Anyone that hasn't listened to this song, I
brace yourself.
Yeah, please brace yourself. So the song starts off like a cool little like, you know, clap beat, and instantly you hear like a voice that's not very familiar compared to everything else on the album. And you're like, oh, who's this? And then it's really high pitch, and the first line is, "Dear God, when I wake up, please can I have wings on my penis? Amen." And then you realize, oh shit, this is a little child rapping or like talking.
Yeah.
So then he starts it off, yo, huh, you know, doing all these ad libs. The first line is, "Hey yo, fuck this shit. I prayed to God, but he forgot this kid. Woke up and I was like, I can't believe this. Still ain't got no wings on my penis." So, first off, we're already getting pretty sacrilegious.
Yeah.
It's my sacrilege.
So, mind you, this is a little kid rapping this. And then we go into, I'm just going to break down the whole song for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only like it's only like a minute 16 or
I was
something.
going to say, it's real short.
Then the next
I'm amazed that you know it this well.
Oh, yeah. The next line, "Penises are awesome. Penises are cool. Draw penis on the wall. Draw penises at school." So,
it's very reminiscent of us in middle school, actually.
uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that opens up another can of worms.
Yeah. But, diverting from that, it's essentially
Right.
Jonah Hill and Superbad. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
Steven was Jonah Hill for a little while.
no, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. And then he says, "I draw penis on the menu all over, and all over place." Forgot a "the" there, I guess. "Sneak over when you're sleeping, draw a penis on your face." This is a badass little kid.
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, you're sleeping and then you wake up to a dick on your face. I mean, we've all been there, but
I believe that's what you call a bar,
Yeah.
Steven.
Take that comment how you want to. And then, so next up we got, yeah, motherfucker, Lil Tommy Terror. Will I ever stop drawing penises? Never. So, like, he poses the question, like, he thinks about it, like, am I ever going to stop doing this? Nah. Like,
He has a couple of moments like that in the song where, like, he'll say something and then he'll just, like, nah.
yeah, and then following that, it's, yo, will I ever stop cursing? Maybe. And then it's, like, the classic, like, Borat, not. Like,
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is unreal. And then he says, if you don't like it, fuck you. So he rhymes maybe with fuck you, which is pretty hard in itself.
Dude, that's killer.
And then, so for the final...
We can all learn something from Lil Tommy Terror.
Agreed. And then the final 4 bars, and this is where it gets real sacrilegious, I think.
Yeah.
I prayed so hard, I even prayed to Jesus. I even wrote to Santa Claus, but all I got is sneakers. I don't want these Nikes. I don't want Adidas. All I want is wings on my motherfucking penis.
And that's how it ends.
And yeah, and then he just kind of yells for a little bit, but that's it. So, as you can imagine, I was like, Marie, run it back. Like, I have to hear it. Like, I've listened to it, like, I think we listened to it like 2 more times, and then I dropped her off, and then I listened to it like 3 more times, because I was just so shocked. So.
Yeah. Like, there's so much in there for a minute.
Yeah.
It's quite shocking.
When you sent it to me,
mm-hmm.
I was expecting a Die Antwoord song.
Right.
I think they have Die Antwoorded themselves.
Yeah, definitely. So,
I agree.
Being curious, I looked it up. I needed to find out as much as I could on the kid. So, in an interview with a Ninja, the dude in the group,
mm-hmm.
so the interviewer asked, and this is a really long interview on Exclaim, and he says, the interviewer asks, who is little Tommy Terror, by the way? And Ninja says, I don't know if I can say. If his grandmother finds out who he is, she'll have a heart attack. Tommy Terror's dad said we can't say anything. It has to be like the biggest secret. He's only 6 years old.
Holy.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, and then the interviewer goes, he's only 6? I thought he was at least 12. And he goes, I think he might be 7 now, but he was 6 when he recorded that. So
that's unreal.
And this is the part that gets me. He says, so did he write wings on my penis? And Ninja says he did. He just draws penises on everything, dude. So then I just turned that into a rap. He draws penises on menus and everything. Tommy's got a sick voice. So I sat with him and wrote the song, and we just did it line for line. And then he explains it like he would rap it, and then Tommy would rap it back. So they did it like how Eazy-E recorded Boys in the Hood when he couldn't rap.
Yeah.
They would just do it line by line.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, little Tommy Terror is 6 years old and drawing penises everywhere.
That's amazing.
I think rather, I'm all for embracing your child as they are, but I think you might want to, you might need to reform that a little bit.
He's ahead of his time.
You think so?
He's 6 years ahead of you.
Yeah, basically. Because I think we were at that point and like, this is funny. Probably around middle school, which was when we were around 12 years old. Yeah. So yeah,
right.
He's definitely 6 years ahead of his time, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, so maybe it's just a sign of his intelligence, right? Like he's a smart dude. Like he sees how funny dicks are.
I think we're looking at the next Albert Einstein and little Tommy Terror.
Wow, big.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
no, I might agree. I think he might save the human race.
Yo, ever seen Lil Einsteins?
The reboot starring Lil Tommy Terror?
Yeah. Directed by Michael Bay.
So him just screaming.
I will say this, though. I don't mean to insult their artistic vision, but, I mean, it's hard for me not to laugh at a song about a 6-year-old rapping about drawing penises on everything.
I think that's the definition of experimental, so...
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm still shook. I'm still trying to come down from that song.
Because I listened to that this morning before the podcast, and I'm still pretty shocked by just how hard it goes, 2, learning now that it was a 6-year-old just
Right.
belting it out.
The most
mind-boggling.
the most shocking part is that he actually is drawing penises on everything.
Yeah, again, that would be kind of hard to, adjust to.
Yeah.
Like, if you're worried about the grandma finding out that he rapped like this, shouldn't you just be worried that the kid's drawing penises, to begin with?
On his sleeping grandma?
Oh, dude, no, that can't happen.
Yeah, let's hope that's not where this leads for little Tommy Terror.
And again, I hope this isn't like, 10 years from now, where is little Tommy Terror at in life? And, I hope for the best for him.
Yeah, and it sounds like he has a knack for rapping. So hopefully if he sticks with it, he probably won't be making songs like Wings on My Penis once he kind of figures out what he wants to do with his artistry. But
right.
That being said, shout out to that song for existing.
Well, you never know. Lil Tommy Terror could become the next professional penis drawer.
Oh.
Somebody's got to have that job or title, right?
Yeah, you're right.
The name itself feels very Juggalo-ish, so hopefully he doesn't go down that path.
Lil Tommy Terror does sound like a Juggalo
Controversial, Reeb. I don't know if you know this, but the Juggalos have a very strong, passionate fan base, so I would be a little careful. Tread lightly.
I don't think our viewers align, so I think we're good here.
Yeah, no Juggalos are listening to this, but if you are...
How do you know?
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, give us a whoop whoop down in the comment section. Yeah. So, yeah, Vin, what have you been listening to realistically? Or has it actually just been Creed and Sum 41?
No. Last week, after the Super Bowl, right. I was getting in my car, and my car, its stereo it's really picky. A lot of CDs, it'll put it in there. It's kind of like the Sorting Hat, and it'll be like, well, what do we have here? And then, it'll just decide if it wants to play it or not. And so it'll be like, today, Foo Fighters, and it'll play, but at other times it'll be like, today, the radio, and it will refuse to play CDs. But, so I had Foster the People's Torches in my CD player, which is an album I go back to all the time.
It's fantastic.
It is. It's a banger for sure. Every song on there. Anyway, that was in my radio, but it was snowing on Super Bowl Sunday, and I was helping one of my coworkers. We had a potluck, so I helped her bring her stuff back to her car, and I turned on my car and started to defrost it and whatever. And Torches, my Sorting Hat stereo was like, no, Foster the People, and just ejected the CD after I turned my car on. And I had my door open because I was scraping my windows off, and my radio is set to a jazz station that we have over here. And my coworker was like, oh man, I like your jazz. I was like, thanks. And she essentially was just like, I've got a couple CDs I think you might like, because we were talking about music. And she was like, she gave me a bluegrass CD, a Boy George DJing CD. She was like, this is weird. If you want to listen to something weird, here's this. I haven't plugged that one in yet. But and she was like, have you heard of Ween? And what's so funny about that is when we were trying to name our podcast, for whatever reason,
all we listened to.
Yeah, we listened to Ocean Man by Ween, which is the song that plays during the end credits of the first SpongeBob movie. And that song is a banger.
I think we listened to that for 4 hours straight.
Yeah, because it was a 10-hour loop, but I think we probably, from the whole time we were hanging out, we listened to it, which is about, 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah. Pretty unreal.
And I think that's really the only Ween song I had heard before. I hadn't really ventured into Ween territory.
That's all you need, though.
Well, is it, though? She handed me Chocolate and Cheese by Ween. And I was like, I'm in. So I put it in. My stereo goes, Ween will play. And it plays the CD. And I don't really know how to describe the style of Ween beyond.
It's pretty unique.
It's almost like every song is different. It's if you've ever heard Captain Beefheart, it's almost on that level of weird. Like some songs just sound like an acoustic jam or whatever, and then other songs are this weird cacophony of sounds that are just so unique. One of the songs, in fact, there's like this long ballad about it's basically a 7-minute song, and it's told of this man who's getting revenge on the man who killed his brother. And that song ends with like an explosion sound, and then it just cuts from that to just it cuts from an explosion sound to just the word AIDS, and then it plays this like really happy, like bouncy rock tune, and like and so it'll go AIDS, and then go and like play this like bouncy, almost like commercial sounding pop tune, and then it'll take another break in the song and just be like HIV. It's weird. The whole album is weird, but there's a lot of real good tracks on there. So I guess my recommendation for this week is Chocolate and Cheese by Ween.
But that's not the album that has Ocean Man.
No, Ocean Man is on Mollusk.
Right, which that came after, right?
Yeah, Chocolate and Cheese was their 4th album, I believe. Mm-hmm. That came out in 1994. I think Ocean Man is on Mollusk, which came out around 2000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Man. Oh, and I should mention, not to interrupt you, but anyone that was curious about that Koreatown Oddity record, I think it's called Finna Be Past Tense. But yeah, you can look it up on stonesthrow.com.
Cool.
Vin, I know moving away from Ween, even though we've just established you are now a Ween head.
They've got their followers worship Bushnik, which is like this weird god. I don't know if they created it.
They got their own religion?
And
whoa.
It's like a weird cartoon looking head. It's their logo, but it's also Bushnik. And whenever like one of the band members does something cool, they're like, "That's so brown."
Wow.
It's next level stuff.
It's pretty intense.
Man, I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, me either, honestly. That's very Ween.
I'm shook. But yeah, moving away from that, I know we were talking about things we did this past week. Vin, being the Batman head that you are, outside of being a Ween head, you saw the Lego Batman movie.
Yes, I did.
Hell yeah.
Let's hear about it.
I am Batman. So of course I had to go see my feature Lego film. But I have been excited for this since the Lego movie, because Batman. Did you guys see the Lego movie?
Yeah, I did eventually. I didn't see it when it was in theaters, but
same.
Anyway, yeah, it's a great movie, hilarious. Will Arnett as Batman was so funny, and when they announced that they were doing this, I was instantly excited. And so I pre-ordered tickets for it and went and saw it in IMAX on its first showing, which I'm used to going to a packed IMAX theater when I'm going on opening night, but it was at 5 p.m. and I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 parties in the theater.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it was pretty empty. Anyway, oh my god, the movie. I'm gonna go into a little bit of spoiler territory, but it's a children's film, so there's not a whole lot to spoil here. Mm-hmm. So essentially, the movie, if you are a Batman fan and you like know your Batman lore, the whole time you're just gonna be catching little things and smiling big. Like, for instance, hilariously enough, the movie starts with a quote by Michael Jackson. The whole theme of the movie is kind of, you got to make a change in yourself to become a better person, I guess. And so it opens with a quote from Man in the Mirror. And
Whoa.
essentially what the plot of the movie is Batman and the Joker have this big fight at the start, and the Joker has like rounded up all of Batman's villains, which you see a mutant leader minifig, which
No way.
yeah, the mutant leader is in this movie. The mutant leader is a character from a book called The Dark Knight Returns. It's a book that reshaped Batman in the 80s. Basically, Batman comes out of retirement to stop all this crazy stuff that's going on in Gotham. And one of the things that's going on is there's this gang called the Mutants, and they're these weird, like, almost skinhead, like, neo-Nazi kind of people that
Right.
just, like, do, like, these random crimes. They're just constantly, like, murdering people. They don't speak good English. They
have a
their
very
own-
interesting lingo.
They have their own slang, and their leader is this just like huge dude. He's got these big pointy like orange nipples, and he wears like this super 80s like visor. He's in the movie. He doesn't have any dialogue, but he's there. And
Does
that's
he
all
have
that
pointy
matters.
nipples on the Lego figure?
He comes. He's not. There's never like a shot that's focused on him. Like he's just sort of
okay.
like in a bunch of group shots. So I guess I wasn't really paying attention because I was trying to catch as many things as I could. And that's the thing about this movie is that there's so much going on, and there's like so much for you to like catch. It can be kind of hard to pick out certain things. Like
That's kind of smart on their end.
yeah, it's pretty hilarious. There's constant references to previous Batman movies in there, like the Joker's hijacking this plane, and he's talking about how he's gonna, finally take over the city, and the pilot's like, "Nah, Batman always stops you," and the Joker's like, "No, he doesn't." And then the guy's like, "What about that time with the two boats?" Which is a reference to The Dark Knight when the Joker has
Right.
has the two boats that are gonna blow each other up, and then he's just like. Basically, the pilot is like, "What about the other time with the parade and the Prince music?" Which is, of course, a reference to the '89 movie. And then there's this other part where Batman's got a "Let's Get Nuts" playlist, which is another reference to Michael Keaton in the '89 movie. The movie's just filled with a lot of Batman fun references. It's hilarious, but it goes completely outside of just Batman. Like, it just opens the floodgate to other Warner Brothers properties. Because essentially what happens is Batman tells the Joker he doesn't care about him. Like, he's just like, "I'm just doing my job. I'm saving the city. I don't care about anybody." And so the Joker's trying to find a way to either make Batman care about him, or he's just going to destroy Gotham.
Man.
He's just going to kill everybody. And so what happens is both Batman and the Joker are watching the news, and Superman's on the news, and they're talking about how Superman just locked up Zod in the Phantom Zone. And Superman's like, only the baddest of the bad go to the Phantom Zone. Like, people that could just, like, really just, like, wreck everything, that we couldn't just throw in a regular prison. That's who we send to the Phantom Zone. So, essentially, the Joker gets all of, like, the Batman's villains, and they all surrender. And he's trying to get Batman to, like, kind of constantly be surveillancing until he's like, "Oh, I gotta send Joker to the Phantom Zone." So he sends Joker to the Phantom Zone,
No way.
and in the Phantom Zone, Joker essentially meets just every Warner Brothers villain ever. So there's like Agent Smith from The Matrix is up there,
What?
Sauron's Eye, Voldemort, the Kraken from Clash of the Titans is up there, the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, Gremlins.
Oh,
It's
no
ridiculous. And so he sends them, he like has them all escape the Phantom Zone, and they all just like start destroying Gotham. And basically the story is that Batman has to like realize that he can't do everything on his own, and that he too can have a family and friends.
Man.
yeah, no, I'll definitely have to go and see that.
Right.
I'm assuming you're going to watch it again in theaters.
Oh yeah, it's a touching film. It's hilarious. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to constantly be picking out things. If you're a Warner Brothers fan, you're going to constantly be picking out things. It's a good one.
That's really cool, man.
I like the idea that since, with every, everybody is going to have their critique of when they do like Batman versus Superman or whatever. of that. Oh, they should focus on this character or this character. I like that they can kind of have this like hyperactive like alternative to that where they can just reference everything. And since it's a kids movie like that, it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, it's so funny what they do with every villain. Like Two-Face is played by Billy D. Williams, who played Harvey Dent in the '89 Batman movie, and he was set to become Two-Face, but when Joel Schumacher took over the films, starting with Batman Forever, they recast him with Tommy Lee Jones, which was hilarious. But they finally gave Billy D. Williams a chance to be Two-Face, which was really cool. And then the guy from Super High Me is Bane.
What?
And he's just doing a Tom Hardy impression, and it's hilarious.
Is it good?
I mean, it's just as good as pretty much everybody's Bane impression. He's just like, hello! It's as good as my Bane impression, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's actually probably one of my favorite parts of the movie because he just has these random aside lines that are really funny. But I think one of my favorite lines was, did either of you guys catch Suicide Squad yet?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So basically Killer Croc doesn't really do anything in the movie except like he goes underwater and like sets up a bomb.
Right.
And in the Lego Batman movie, the Joker's like setting up a bomb underneath Gotham, and he has Killer Croc do it. But like you haven't really seen or heard from Killer Croc the whole movie. And then he like swims up, sets the bomb up, and just looks at the camera and goes, "I did something."
No way.
It's great.
Man.
Yeah, no, I think I'll try and see that either this week or not next week, but the week after that. Those will be my two openings to try and see that. So
There's a lot of movies I want to see right now. So
oh, for sure.
Get
Definitely.
Out, John Wick 2. I feel like there's some other ones too, but yeah, hopefully
50 Shades Darker, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a big wait, what are those movies called? 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. I'm a bit. I don't even know the title of it. I'm a big.
Clearly.
I just said the title, and you're like, "Well, I'm the biggest fan." You're flabbergasted.
Caught.
Yeah.
Speaking of those incredibly romantic movies, and since tomorrow is Valentine's Day, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we have a couple brief little romantic stories we'd like to tell you, good folks. And
yeah.
I'll lead off with mine. There's not really much to my story, but it's a hilarious thing that, everybody has those things in their past that they look back on. They're like, why the hell did I do that? And it'll just hit you like when you're laying in bed. You're like, I'm a terrible person.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Things that haunt you, that keep you keep you up at night.
Yeah, not like
Right.
it's like this horrible thing that you did, but just like it's super embarrassing or awkward or whatever. So in 6th grade, when I was in 6th grade, like the first week of middle school, everybody moves from their elementary school to the middle school in 6th grade. Within the first week or two, I got my first official girlfriend, and we rode the bus together. And, being young and not knowing the right moves to make, or, you don't develop. If I have any smoothness, I didn't have it then. So we were sitting next to me and this girl. We'd only been dating like a couple days, but we were sitting next to each other on the bus. And I was like, "Hey, what do cool guys do? They put their arm around their girlfriend." And so I was like, seeing it in the movies, I'm like, I'm going to try that. That would be cool. And so we always used to sit in the back of the bus with like all the high schoolers and stuff. Right, Ryan?
well, yeah, and I'll throw in my part of the story afterwards.
All right,
but
fair.
go ahead.
Yeah, because I might be remembering some parts differently. But the thing was, like, this girl who, for her sake, leave out her name. I don't even know. She probably doesn't remember this.
Yeah, probably not.
But when something embarrassing happens to you, of course, you don't forget it until you die. So that's where I'm at. But so like the way she was sitting, like she was like pressed up against like the back of the seat. Like she wasn't leaning forward where I could like put my arm around her. So I was like, and I guess I was really committed to putting my arm around her. And so the way she was sitting, like she's sitting like properly up, like postured, like back against the seat. And I decided to do like, if you're ever in a near like car accident, you have to slam on the brake and your mom is driving and she reaches over and like puts her arm like across your collarbone, like to touch your other shoulder.
To brace you for impact, basically.
That's what I did. So my arm was like directly aligned with her collarbone, and then I was touching her outside or the inside of her shoulder. So basically, I was just giving her like an arm bar.
And I'm sitting over here because so usually me and Steven would sit on the bus together, like riding home and everything. And so once Steven got a girlfriend, I'm just sitting on my own, looking over there, seeing Steven pulling this move, and I'm going, that's fucked up, man. I just wanted my bus riding partner to be sitting with me.
Instead, he's giving the mom seatbelt to his new girlfriend.
Oh man, so like you were working through so many emotions. Like you're like, one,
absolutely,
I want to be sitting with my best friend again, and two, he's fucking up big time right now.
No, dude, I was jealous. I'm like, damn, dude, he's putting on the moves.
I want to have a girl to give an arm bar to. But no, I just remember the thing I remember the most, like vividly, was I don't know if she said anything. I feel like I remember her kind of looking at me awkwardly, but there was these high schoolers, and there's this one who was always really like, I thought she was, it's like you always think there's that one person that was your friend, but they're actually an asshole to you. They weren't really your friend. That was this girl, if I ever had that in my life. Like, she'd always talk to me, but I realized she was making fun of me later. But like, so I don't know, I just remember her looking at me with the most disgust like look on her face. Like, she's like, you're not even human. Why are you doing this? Like, and that's what I remember the most vividly, is just her staring at me and giving me that look.
Man.
And if there's any silver lining to this story, any positive note, I think that girl broke up with me maybe 2 or 3 days later. So
yeah, I think that's about right.
Which was the trend of my middle school relationships, so it's not really saying much. But yeah, so if the point being, kids, if you make the wrong move, you'll get dumped.
And it'll stick with you forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
An arm bar is not the same thing as wrapping your arm around a woman.
Right. No, that is the moral of the story. Is if you're gonna put your arm around a girl, make sure that's always make sure that's something that the person wants. But don't do it in front of them. Make sure your arm goes around them from the back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's usually how embraces go. But
yep. But little did I know.
I love seeing it from 2 points of view now. Like, that story always cracks me up. Because, like, hearing your mental thought process, and then, like, I'm just looking over there going, man.
Like, did you see it happen, or did you, like, just kind of look back over and then...
I didn't see the process of you putting your arm around her, but I just looked over and I saw that, and I go, wouldn't they be nice?
That's really funny. I never knew that you were looking at that and yearning, like, oh man, romance.
No, I was just like, that's fucked up, man. This person's taking my bus riding seat partner, and she's not even enjoying it.
Yep.
Steven never embraced me that way.
Oh man.
Oh shit. All right, so Vin, I know you got a story you want to tell as well.
Yeah. I wish I could say that mine was like a long time ago, and that like I think about it often and feel like an idiot. But mine happened, let's see, maybe 3 months ago. 3 or 4 months ago. So a little bit more
fresh.
Yeah. So it also involves Steven though.
Yeah.
Essentially what was going on, I was using Tinder at the time. And I had matched with this girl, and we had been talking for like a week or so. And finally we decided we were going to go out and get drinks. So we're at this bar. We talk, It's going pretty great. Have about 3 beers, and she was like, do you want to go get food? And I was like, yeah. So we go to this little Mexican joint, and we're eating, and my phone buzzes, and I think she was in the restroom, and so that was why I was looking at my phone. And she was just coming back, and Steven had sent me something, and I was laughing at it, and I was a little buzzed, so I think I might have thought it was more funny than it really was. So
no, it's pretty funny.
I was giggling at it pretty hard because he sent me this with no context, nothing. He just sent it to me.
Oh man.
Steven, do you want to maybe say what it was?
Yeah, and I will say that. So this is something as my friends know, I used to post a lot of these like funny things to Twitter, but I've kind of directed that energy more so just to directly with my friends. But very often, just whenever I stumble across something funny on the internet, I will just send it to them. Or if I remember something funny, I'll send it to them. And a lot of times it's not with any caption or like, hey, look at this. I'll just send it to them, right?
Yeah, no context at all.
Right, even when it's probably needed. So this tweet I remember seeing, and I every time I see it, and every time I think of it, I'm just absolutely shocked, disgusted, and horrified that it exists. So this is a tweet from the iconic nerd director Kevin Smith, the man that looks the exact same in every picture he takes. No disrespect to Kevin Smith here, but the man, I don't know. I question his character with this tweet.
Which has the title, by the way, of the worst tweet of all time.
Right? Yeah. This website that reposted it, because I was looking it up just so we can read it again, said, "Remember when Kevin Smith sent out the worst tweet of all time?" And so this is from July 9th, 2009. So anyway, I somehow stumbled across this again. And you can look it up for yourself. Just type in like Kevin Smith anniversary tweet. But so I'll read a censored version. So this tweet from Kevin is about his wife, I believe, who he's been together with for 10 years. So very romantic. Kevin tweets, 10 years in, and we bone like we're cheating on each other with each other. A decade plus, and her blank/blank/blank area still pones my blank. And pones has the O in pones is capitalized. So go ahead.
So essentially, I'm sitting there laughing at my phone as she comes back from the bathroom, and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm a little buzzed, so apparently I was just like, she'll think this is funny. We're at dinner, and I decide to read this tweet aloud to her. I was like, it's from my buddy just sent me this tweet somebody posted. I don't know what my thought process was in reading this aloud. I'm on a date with a girl, and I read 10 years in, and we bone like we're cheating on each other with each other. A decade plus, and her clit/brown/taint area still pones my dick. I get no reaction from her. I don't even remember how we got off the subject, because there was, I think there might have been a brief awkward silence, but I think she might have like just sort of like, and just like continued talking about whatever the hell we were talking about. But the best part of this story is that I said that out loud, and I was like, what? Why did I do that? And I just figured, that was it. That was over. I fucked up a good date. And then it led to like 3 or 4 more dates after that. Didn't phase her at all.
So I think
there's a good moral to that.
Right, because that contrasts my middle school story, that like your offense was probably much worse than what I did. But if it's meant to be, you can make some slip ups, and it'll be all right. And I guess from my perspective, from my involvement in the story, know that the content that you share to your friends might be viewed at the wrong time.
Absolutely.
So, be mindful of that. I didn't think that Vin would read this tweet out loud on a date.
I didn't think I would either.
I think that's kind of hard to envision as you're sending a really funny link to being like, well, one, I hope this person isn't on a date, and two, I hope they don't read it aloud either.
Yeah. So, it's a great story. I absolutely love that happened, and I'm happy also that like didn't have a huge negative impact on anything. Like, that's a true testament. Like, if you can read that horrific, just unnecessary tweet and, it doesn't ruin anything.
Yeah,
the worst tweet of all time.
Yes. I think if I have any advice, it's to read this on a date.
No.
That's how you gauge.
Test.
That's how you gauge if it's going well or not. Because if it's not going well and you read that, she's just gonna be like, "All right, fuck, I'm out.
See you later."
Right. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the stuff Kevin Smith does. But I try and separate. I mean, depending on the offense, I try and separate the art from the person.
Yeah.
But this crossed the line for me. This was too much. This is the
Dude,
worst
it was
thing.
passion.
This tweet is worse than Tusk.
That's hard. That's hard to say.
I think I would agree with that.
Tusk is that tweet for an hour and 40 minutes.
That's a fair point. Anyone that's not familiar with Tusk, it's the 2014 film. 2014?
Yeah, something like that.
Film directed by Kevin Smith, written by Kevin Smith and his friend, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how it came about was he talked about the idea for the movie on one of his podcasts, and had his Twitter followers. He was like, "Should I make this movie? Tweet me with #WalrusYes if I should." And he got enough tweets, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it."
Yeah. So essentially, Justin Long is like a podcaster, like a internet
He's
personality.
us.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
us. And
We
he's
are
like
Justin
always.
Long.
Yeah, he's always looking for like interesting stories. Anyway, goes to this old like Navy. Is he like a Navy guy? Like old retired? Is that
Yeah,
what
sounds
yeah,
right.
it's some sailor or like, fisherman.
Yeah, and basically the guy, spoilers, the guy locks him in his house and slowly transforms him into a walrus. So it's a gross body transformation movie. You get to see Justin Long look as close to a walrus as a human can get.
Right.
There's not,
Which is actually pretty close, evidently.
yeah. If there's any, I love Haley Joel Osment. I think he's great. So you get to see him in it. Johnny Depp in that movie is the absolute worst and most pointless character I've ever seen introduced in a film. His scene felt like, didn't his scene in the movie felt like it took like an hour, but it was only like 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Just hearing him talk,
His character, when they were designing it, I remember reading this. They purposely made his nose look as much like a penis as possible. Like they put a vein on it and everything.
I don't think I caught that, but man,
yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I think if again, no disrespect to Kevin Smith here, but I do appreciate the fact that he has the money and the power to mention something in a podcast, tweet about it, and then make the film. Doesn't mean the film's going to be good. And I think, he jokes about it, right? That like,
yeah, oh yeah,
that people hated the movie.
He made a sequel to it last year called Yoga Hosers with his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
Right.
And the same thing happened with that movie, I believe, because it was a sequel technically. Mm-hmm. And it also did terrible.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he had planned to make 3. It was supposed to be a trilogy. And I don't know if he's going to do the third one now.
Right. Well, he has about how many shows does he host and podcasts and stuff?
Oh my God, yeah, he does a ton. He does a lot of podcasting.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, he has plenty of room to just not care at all.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't listen to at least one of his podcasts.
Right.
So.
Right. No, definitely. But yeah, Tusk, terrible film. That's all I got to say.
Highly recommended.
Watch it this Valentine's Day with your loved one.
Very romantic. Man, well, I hope the advice that we gave about Valentine's Day will, and romance in general, will stick with you.
Yeah, just know that if you make a mistake, it's okay. That's basically it.
No, it's not.
Probably.
Okay. Think about it forever.
Man, we have jumped over the hour mark, folks.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you made it this far, give us a good giddy up in the comments.
Giddy up.
We always appreciate you guys listening. Again, if you have any questions that you want us to answer in the next podcast, also feel free to leave those in the comments below. We'll make sure to answer them, give our opinions on them. But yeah, thanks for sticking around this long, and we will catch you guys next time.
Yeah, and if you've got your own romantic horror story, leave it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. Maybe we'll discuss it next week if you care enough to leave it for us.
Be blessed. We love you.
I'm gonna love you.
Peace out, guys.